Hello, welcome to this episode of Hypnotist Exposition. Joining us again tonight is Meghan.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Cool. Remind us, you were here a month ago, right?
Yes.
What was it that we talked about the last time you were here?
We talked about cheerleading and me overcoming my fear of doing a trick.
Okay. What was that trick again?
It was called a full.
Okay. Describe with your hand.
You go up in the air, and instead of your feet come off the ground and you lay out completely, and while you're here you turn around all the way and you land on the ground.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds complicated.
Yes, it is.
So what was it that you were here for last night?
To overcome my fear and be able to do it.
Okay. So in short, what happened?
I did it the next day at my practice, and
okay.
every practice since.
Oh wow, great!
Yeah.
So what was it that was going through your mind? Like, tell us the story.
I just walked into practice and I was just really happy. I was really happy to be there. It was a good atmosphere, and we went to go and tumble, and I got to the corner, and I warmed up and I did everything, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. And I was like, I can do it, and I was like, there's no problem, and I did it. My coach was like, wait, did you? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I did. And he was like, can you do that again? And when I did it, I just felt free. I didn't feel anything. I just felt like I was just on top of the world, and that nothing could hurt me. So, yeah.
Wow, that was great. That was great. And yeah, so welcome back.
Thank you.
What would you like to work on tonight?
I'd like to quit smoking.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
I'm going to be a senior in college. I've smoked since I was a freshman in high school, so 14 or 15 years old. Okay. It's just a really bad habit. I don't like to smoke in front of people. There's so many more non-smokers out there than there are smokers, and it's time to stop.
Okay. Have you tried not smoking?
I have years ago, and then I just never.
What happened?
Nothing. I just started again. I don't really know why.
How long was the...
It was like a week. I mean, it was kind of long, but not long enough. I'd just like to stop forever.
Okay. Well, so tell us, how did you start? Like, what was the story of your first smoke?
I was it was like a Friday night.
Okay.
Me and all my friends had gone out, and there were just older girls and guys with cigarettes, and we were like, oh, we're freshmen, so we're going to try them. And it was just so stupid that we even did. Okay. And I got caught.
Okay. You got caught? In the
vortex of smoking.
Oh, okay. So no, it's not like a big hand come up on your shoulder and say, hey, what are you doing?
No.
Okay. What kind of, like, when do you smoke?
It's like a routine, pretty much. I mean, after you smoke for so long, you time out how many cigarettes you can have in a car and a drive. You do it after you eat, when you wake up, before you go to bed. It just becomes a routine, you know. It's a part of your day.
Okay. Do you see that sometimes you smoke more, or is it just a very routine kind of thing?
It's just really routine of when I smoke. I mean, it's always the same pretty much.
Okay. Do you have your own smoke, or do you bump it off other people?
No, I get my own.
Okay. And they don't check your ID or something?
No, they do, but I'm old enough.
All right, okay. How did you get your smoke before?
I could get them, other people could get them, so.
So when you smoke, right, what do you feel?
Gross. Disgusting. It doesn't taste good. It really doesn't do anything good for me.
No, really, like, that's the dialogue in your mind, right?
No, that's just how I felt for like a few months now. It just doesn't do anything, you know. It doesn't make me feel any better. It doesn't make me feel any worse. But before, I feel like it's now, in me, it's just become a routine. It hasn't, you know, it doesn't do anything good or bad for me. But before, I feel like it used to relax me, or I told myself that it relaxed me, and it really didn't.
Well, you've studied, biopsychology. right? And you know the nicotine doesn't really stay.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't smoke for a day or two, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you could understand that it is not an addiction, right?
Yes.
And there's no chemical. It's not like alcohol where if you all of a sudden stop drinking,
Right.
there will be bad things happen to you. But like you know, nothing bad is going to happen to you.
Right.
There's no scientific reason for chemical dependency, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's totally up to you, right? Is there any reason why you don't think you can stop smoking? I mean, you're here for a reason, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you could just stop
I don't
smoking,
think-
you could just.
Yeah, I don't
you
think
know.
I could do it myself.
What
I don't
is
think
your
that I have the
rationale?
willpower to just stop.
Okay. What's the rationale behind that? Then? What's the evidence?
I haven't.
Okay.
So.
So it's just occurred to you.
Sorry. I mean, I haven't. So.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'm just wondering, like, where does that idea come from? You know.
I think it's because a lot of people in my family smoke. A lot of my friends smoke. They haven't stopped, and I'm one of the youngest. So it's like, well, if they can't stop, then I can't stop.
Okay.
So.
Do you live with a smoker?
Yes.
When you about to move? Well, I hope I'm not giving away your privacy. I'm not going to tell people where you're going to live, right? But like, you know, can I tell them that you're going to move?
To school?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So she's going to move to school in a couple of weeks, right? So it's a good thing because all of a sudden you have to rearrange your whole life, right?
Yes.
So any bad habits, you can like leave it out of the door.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good that you change your residence once in a while because like you got a fresh start every
Mm-hmm.
few months. Do you carry any cigarettes with you?
Yeah, all the
Can I
time.
see it?
I don't have any.
Okay.
The one time I don't. Have
The
any.
one time you don't have. It was going to be dramatic, right? So one of the things you want to do is when you go home, find every last bits of cigarettes you can find.
They're all gone. I got rid of them.
You got
before
rid
I
of
even
them?
came
Alright.
here today.
Alright, so you
'Cause I
came
don't want
prepared.
to smoke anymore.
And what about lighters?
I have a few, but I gave them to my friends and to everyone else that smokes.
Right, yeah, you know, give them your problem.
I was like, I don't want them. I don't need them.
Right, alright, so you get where I'm going, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have any ashtrays?
No, I smoke outside.
Okay. You know, clean up your
Mhm.
doorstep. So, like, try not to have anything that reminds you that it's time to smoke. Where do you buy your cigarettes?
At a convenience store near my house.
So it's pretty much the same
All the time, yes.
all the time, right? Is there any way you can like come home in a different direction?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so consciously move things around. So it's less about now you're not addicted to anything, right?
Mm-mm.
So we have to establish that immediately. But you know, this is less about not smoking than relearning a lifestyle that is without smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it's kind of refreshing to like do something different, right?
Mm.
So consciously drive home in a different path. So you don't go by that path in about a week. Can we do that?
Yeah.
All right. What about social situations?
Not here. All my friends smoke.
Do you smoke with them?
Yeah, when I'm around.
Do you feel that do you feel pressured?
No. Not at all.
Okay. So what's the smoking routine like on an average day?
It depends. It depends on like what I'm doing. Pretty much if I wake up, I would have breakfast, have a cigarette, or go out in the car and I would have a cigarette before I get to the place that I'm going. I would have one, or before practice, work, going to bed, after I eat dinner or lunch.
Okay.
If I get out of classes.
So before you come here today,
Mm-hmm.
you have thought about this, right?
Yeah.
So let's backtrack to like, let's say on Sunday, right?
Mhm.
Could you retrace how many cigarettes you smoke?
Probably about 10.
No, retrace it.
Oh, retrace?
Right.
I don't know if I
No,
can
no,
do
no.
that.
Go ahead. Start.
Okay. Sunday. I don't even remember what I did on Sunday.
All right. So we won't ask you what happened on Saturday.
I woke up, had breakfast,
Okay.
went out, had a cigarette,
1,
went back in, watched TV for a little while, helped my mom, went out, walked the dog, had a cigarette,
2,
went in, got ready, left, got in my car, had a cigarette,
3.
went out. I was driving, had another one,
Okay.
went to where I had to go, got back in the car, had another one. Before I
Okay.
got home, I had another one.
Okay.
I hung out for like a really long time.
Any cigarette?
No.
Okay.
Then I had another one.
Okay.
I went out, I had 2. I came home and I had 1 and then went to bed.
Okay. So your estimation was right. It was 10.
Oh. Okay. I was like, I think that's a little bit more.
All right. So, you just want to be aware of the habits that
Mhm.
you're unaware of. This is the point of this exercise, right? So could you feel that you can draw a pattern as to when you smoke?
Yeah, I could do that easily.
Like, yeah, somewhere near your car, right, I guess.
All the cars I feel is the worst. Sitting at a beach is the worst, at a pool, or after you eat. It just becomes routine. That's all it is. You just
Okay.
make it a part of your routine, so you get into the habit of doing it.
Okay. So, again, what we're about to do right now is getting a new routine, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard to, stop doing something consciously. It's like, try not to think about the pink elephant, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to neglect things. So we're trying to move in a positive direction, not in, a motivational talk kind of positive
Right.
psychology. But, if you're doing something, then you're naturally not doing another thing, right?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you are walking east,
Mhm.
then you're naturally not walking
Walking
west.
west,
Yeah,
right.
you don't have to consciously not walk west, right?
Right.
So let's picture. Well, without giving too much of your privacy away, let's picture you tomorrow.
Mhm.
What are you going to do?
Hang out, go to the pool.
No, start from the
work out.
morning.
Without smoking?
Yeah.
I'd wake up, have breakfast, walk my dog, get ready, go out with my friends, maybe go for a run, get back into shape, go work out at the cheerleading gym, go home, hang out, and go to bed.
Okay, so that's manageable, right?
Yeah.
So they say that if you keep doing something for 7 continuous days, then it becomes a habit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can keep doing this for the next week, then you have control.
Mm-hmm.
And what hypnosis is supposed to do is to give you control back in your hand, right?
Yeah.
So I cannot force you to not do anything. I cannot force you to do anything. But the next time somebody hands you a cigarette, you consciously be able to decide
Right.
whether it is something you do or not. Now, I'm not a smoker, right? If somebody just hand me a cigarette, I just unconsciously say, no thanks, right?
Right.
And you should be able to do that without thinking. So, yeah, so what we're about to do right now is hypnosis. Just like the last time.
Okay.
I'm not going to do anything to hurt you in any way. And in return, I would like your cooperation. Is that all right?
Yep.
All right, just sit back a little bit. Push your chair back a little bit. That's good. That's good. Now, I want you to just hold out your hands like this and just push down on my palm as light as possible. That's right. Take a deep breath in and let it out. I'm going to count backwards from 3 to 1. When I reach the number 1, we'll just want you to close your eyes and let yourself drift. As soon as you close your eyes, I want you to imagine yourself on that calm, quiet beach again. You can hear the children playing in the background. You can hear the seagull over your head. You can hear the ocean waves caress us against the shore. Look up here. 3, 2, 1, close your eyes. That's good. That's good. As soon as your palm touches your knees, you'll find yourself drifting twice as deep into hypnosis, feeling twice as relaxed, twice as comfortable. That's right. You can still hear the seagulls over your head. You can still hear the children playing in the background. You can still hear the sound of the ocean waves caresses against the shore. That's right. Take a deep breath in. That's right. Let yourself go now. And sleep. That's right. You can feel the warm ray of the sun on the tip of your nose. Feel the warm ray of the sun on your cheek. You can feel the warm ray of the sun on your forehead and on the center of your body. That's right. And you can feel the ocean breeze bursting through your eyelids and your hair. That's right. As I count backwards from 5 to 1, with each number I count, you find yourself sinking twice as deep into hypnosis, sinking twice as deep into the softness of the chair. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's right. Just let go and drift. Good. Now I want you to picture on your forehead a very happy place. A happy place that brings you delight and joy. A happy place that is full of color and peace. It could be a place that you have been before, or it could be a place that you've always wanted to go. Whether it be a real place or a fantastic place, it's totally up to you. When it counts from 1 to 3, I want you to just picture yourself in this happy place when your unconscious mind is wide open and ready to receive the positive and beneficial suggestions that I'm giving you right now. 3, 2, 1. See it happen. That's right. Now, Meghan, over the years, you have been a smoker, and I would like you to acknowledge it. There's no need to hide or feel bad or shame. It is the way you were. Now I want you to just use your unconscious mind to find every last bit of cigarettes that is in your blood or in your joint or in your muscles or in your nerves throughout your body, and let them go. Today you have decided to be a non-smoker. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a new learning experience. All the smoke and bad habits have been a burden on your back, and you can let it go now. Thank him for being a part of you, but you no longer need them. Let them dissipate into the atmosphere right now. Whatever the need was, whether you consciously understand them or unconsciously needed them, now you realize both consciously and unconsciously that you do not need smoke anymore. Just find that last bit of cigarette that you have been holding on, whether it is in your back, your neck, or deep inside your mind. Just let it go right now. That's right. And feel your blood being cleared from all those chemicals. Feel your mind clearing up that fog of nicotine. Feel your vision being cleared up from all those toxic chemicals that has been harming you. Just let them go. Feel your mind and your body cleanse. That's right. And in place of nicotine, and in place of smoke, in place of all those chemicals, you feel a white, purifying light just flows from the top of your head, around your joints, to the tip of your fingers. Feel this purifying light just keep flowing through you. Once again reconnecting you with your confidence, with your ability. That's right. From now on, you have accepted that you're a non-smoker. And whenever people offer you a smoke, you just naturally and automatically refuse. Just say, I'm not a smoker. Thank you. Good. It will happen to you automatically, without thinking, without feeling. You will just naturally refuse smoke whenever it was offered to you, because you unconsciously know that you're a non-smoker. That's right. And whenever you do find yourself picking up a cigarette, you naturally throw it to the floor. It will just slip right out of your finger and drop it to the floor. And as soon as that happens, you realize that you're holding on to smoke, and you no longer need to smoke. You easily discard that cigarette and move on with your life. That's right. Now I want you to once again imagine your daily routine tomorrow. Imagine it the way you want it to be. When you wake up, breathe in the fresh air. When you eat breakfast, taste the food. When you go from places to places, you just automatically get in the car and get there. It will happen automatically, naturally, just like anybody would do without a cigarette, without the smoke. It will all happen naturally and automatically. You were not even aware that you were doing this completely free of cigarettes. I want you to just imagine that entire routine passing through your mind right now. That's right. Good. When I tap your shoulder again, I would like you to imagine the entire routine completely fresh, completely new to you, and it will happen twice as fast. There. Your new behavior, your new routine, your new thoughts is now part of you. You find yourself easily carrying this out long after the time you spent together in your hypnosis. Each and every day you feel fresher, your mind becomes more clear, you're much more in control of your mind and your body. Every day, in every way, you find yourself more focused in what you do. You find yourself having much clearer senses, much more control of your mind, your senses, and your body. You'll walk around with a new sense of optimism, smiling and happy and humming in every way. That's right. I'm going to count from 1 to 10. When I reach number 10, you'll come back to this room, feeling great, totally refreshed. Just feel like you've slept for the last 12 hours, completely energized. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, ready. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yes, we'll talk more about this in the hallway.